Hey folks, I figure as a little experiment, since I'm not actually on camera anymore anyway, I thought I'd try sitting closer to the mic, a little more like if I was on a radio show doing recording. Hopefully this results in slightly better voice quality in terms of not missing as many frequencies, but I'll be experimenting with distance from the mic a little bit in the days ahead. If I sound a little different, that's what's going on. Now today's topic's got to do with a need to have a place to put things that you have to do, but that should not be done today. And, when we zoom out on this, it's a pretty simple thing. It's pretty recognizable. It's where part of what happens, we wind up distracted, chasing things that are not an efficient use of today's time, is from feeling like if I don't do it now, I'm going to forget. And it's because we don't have a system in place. We don't have something like a Google Calendar. I use a Trello in addition to a Google Calendar, but some sort of place where you're going to check. For some people, it's a whiteboard. And as simple as this sounds, as obvious and as easy as this sounds, it's one of these many things that if someone's not doing it, they're at a massive disadvantage. One of the first things that our project leads in GAM Keto Club figure out when we start trying to prepare to plan and pitch a project is how much easier it is, in fact, to be able to sit down and say, here's something that's got to be done, but it doesn't need to be done now. It can be done 4 weeks from now, 5 weeks from now, 7 weeks from now. And the power that you gain when you can sit there and look at these things from a distance, from kind of a bird's eye view, shuffle them around, rearrange them, come up with a task that, you're in the middle of doing something else and need done. Well, you put it further down the schedule, is immensely just freeing in terms of the options it gives us. The amount of things we're able to do with our time expand massively when every single moment isn't just a scramble for the most important thing or the thing I can't forget. It's so important to have somewhere to stash away these tasks. So if you haven't already done so, I encourage you. I really hope you'll start today in terms of, if you're not using Google Calendar, that's what I find works for me because that syncs between my different devices. I use Trello since that's something that's easier between the mobile app and the computer sites. Both those are free, but there's lots of other options out there. Again, really could be something as simple as a whiteboard you stick to your refrigerator, stick to your door. A lot of doors in decent apartments, at least, are metal because they're sort of magnetic, which makes another place easy to hang those up. But somewhere that you're going to see, somewhere you're going to check, somewhere that allows you to plan out that if there's something that should be done, not to say that it's not important, but to say that there's a difference between things that should be done and things that should be done today. This is what allows us to have a much more strategic approach to what we're doing with our time, how the pieces all fit together in a way that allows you to have so much better control and to have a much bigger effect, a much bigger impact, because you can spread out the work to be done in terms of a much bigger picture, in terms of a plan, as opposed to one day at a time. That's really all the thought is for today, just to make sure you've got a place to stash specifically things that are worth doing, but shouldn't be done today. And ideally in a way you can pin it down on a specific date, a point at which you're going to see it again. It's going to come back to you. It's going to become the priority that day. And, likewise, if things would come up and interrupt that, then you've got other places in the future to set those tasks to be dealt with.